Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. Introducing your host from New York, here is Sam Roberts.
We're backstage at the Westchester County Center with Becky Lynch. Becky, what's the haps?
Not much. Well, a lot, I guess, getting ready for Wrestlemania.
Right. What's life like? It seems like the last few months have moved extremely quickly for you to go from being on the NXT roster to not only being on the main roster, but now finding out you're in one of the top spots at WrestleMania.
It's almost hard to answer, and it kind of just gets me a little bit like emotional when I think about it, because I don't know, like, you know, when I came up, it was finding your feet in this great division that we've got going on now, and being referred to as a sidekick or this, that, and whatever, and it was waiting for that opportunity to you know, carve your path out, and because I knew that I had all this fire in me and where I wanted to go, but it was like, you know, there's always going to be those doubts, you know, are you going to be able to get there? I mean, is that the match that they're going to want to see? How can you make an impact with the crowd and with people watching, to make sure that you're in that spot, and then to be there with two people who I respect so much and who I've worked with so long, and who've been such an important part of my journey. Knowing that I started with NXT like less than 3 years ago, and being in a top spot in WrestleMania, it's just unbelievable and unfathomable.
You got there.
To think it's. When I say it's a dream come true, that's not even real.
Right.
Because I couldn't have, when I was younger, I couldn't have even imagined this. Like I couldn't, my brain wouldn't have comprehended that I would be in one of the most anticipated women's matches in history in WrestleMania. Like, I mean, that's what you'd want, but, like, you know, do you really think that it's going to happen?
Especially when it wasn't happening back then for women's matches. Like, women just weren't having those matches that you would anticipate. They were having, like, okay, we'll put it on before the main event so that the crowd goes down. And now it's like, no, this is what we're doing. Has it fully occurred to you yet that it is going to happen, that you're going to be in front of this stadium full of people, and that this is the triple threat match with you and the NXT girls is what's happening?
Yeah. So, you know, like, the match has occurred to me, so my full focus is on that match.
Right.
If you get what I'm saying, so that's my focus. Now, when I think about nearly 100,000 people in the stands watching and that energy, it's like, whoa. I think it's almost too big for my brain to comprehend right now. But I know when I'm there, then it's just, I think that's gonna, like, add everything. And but for now, my sole focus is on this match.
The match.
Yeah.
I don't want to put anything in your head, but I feel like I'd be terrified that I'd be like, okay, I have the match down pat. It's going to be a great match. And then my music would play. And I'm like, I have no idea how to do my entrance in front of 100,000 people.
I keep imagining that. Like, I'll come out.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think
commentators
that's
have
gonna
to
happen.
cover you. Becky looking intense as she comes to the ring tonight. Do you feel like you've missed something in not getting a chance to be the NXT Women's Champion? Because before you really, you know, Sasha had her chance and Charlotte had her chance.
Yeah.
And then you went with them so that Bayley could have her chance. And now you've kind of gotten past that point. Yeah. Without ever having actually hit it.
Yes. So the question is, do I feel
like you missed out?
Like I missed out?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a goal of mine, but I missed that goal, you know, and so
skipped it.
I skipped it, and and sometimes, you know, sometimes you don't get every shot that you take,
right.
You know, but every shot that you do take is getting you closer to scoring the goal. Right. So whether I won, whether I lost, whether I lose again, I'm going to keep trying. And now the goal keeps getting higher and higher and higher, and the stakes get higher,
right.
And it gets harder and harder. But ultimately, the eye has always been on the top spot, and that's being the champion up here. And I feel like, yeah, okay, I failed in my goal to get that, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna. But as many times as you fail, like, that's the secret ingredient for success.
And I don't know if you really failed, because it's like you could have stayed at NXT and won
Yeah.
the title. Like by failing, you ascended to that higher place where you would have.
And how when I say fail, I mean, you know, like you get knocked down again. You don't always get what you want. You know.
Right. But if you try sometimes, you might find that you get what you need.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's where I'm going here. Is that so that was something that I really wanted, and something that I kept putting down and writing down, you know, that I want to be NXT Women's Champion, and it just didn't happen, and that's fine, because here I am, you know, yeah, you know, like sometimes you don't get what you want, but then
Something better comes along. Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of
what happens when you plan things too.
Yeah.
Like you plan things to go a certain way, and then it doesn't go the way you planned because you didn't even fathom, like we were saying, that this would be an option.
Yeah.
Like I'm assuming if you were like, okay, you could win the NXT title, or you could be one of the headlining matches at WrestleMania in Dallas with Charlotte and Sasha, you'd probably pick the WrestleMania option.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So and that's where we are, you know. So that's just that like that's all part of the journey, you know. So I guess in essence, no, I don't feel like I missed out.
There, we got there.
But I enjoyed trying, and now I just spilled coffee all over myself. Oh,
right.
looky, I'm wearing camo. It just
Very
blends in.
Right. That's it. It's stain proof.
Exactly. The benefits of camo.
You've had so many jobs. We've talked about it before previously, when you went to clown college and you were a flight attendant, and you've done all these things. Does having the experience of traveling the world and doing every job imaginable give you the confidence of, God forbid, should something happen? I know that there are many odd jobs out there, like, or do you get in a ring now and realize, like, no, this is where I was supposed to be the whole time?
Yeah, that's exactly it. The second one, like the first, as you said, like having all those jobs and everything like that, it makes me know that. It makes me know that beyond a shadow of a doubt, there's nothing else that I want to do, because I've tried everything. I've tried it all, and I know that I don't really want to do any of it. I want to do what I'm doing now, and with that, like, you might get tired, you might get beat up, you know, you don't have a lot of time off, etc., but like once you've been without it and then come back to it, it makes you appreciate every single second, every single fan, every single time you have the opportunity to do an interview and talk to people, like absolutely everything. It just gives you so much appreciation because you know what it's like to be without it.
Do you have to share that with people? Like, when people start getting jaded, be like, no, you don't understand how bad it gets when you don't have this, when you just have to search and find things.
Yeah, but I guess I feel like people are gonna feel the way that they feel, and no matter what you say or do, that's like intrinsic in them or whatever. But I think no matter what, no matter how tired anybody gets, as soon as they go out through the curtain and they feel the energy of the crowd, that's
that reminder.
Yeah,
like, oh yeah,
that's the reminder.
That's what we do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't need to say anything because the fans do that for us.
Right. Yeah, and I noticed even today, like, you must spend a lot of time with these fans, because I saw you coming in. And you actually stop, like, where they have all the fans line up is a football field away from where you actually park. And you're like, you ran all the way back down. So you made sure to greet every single fan. Yeah. Is that just part of that appreciation in you?
Exactly. Yeah, I try to. And, you know, I remember when I was a fan, you know, and I would have loved if people stopped to sign autographs for me and stuff like that. So I feel like this is my opportunity to be able to give that back and to say thank you, you know, in whatever small way that I can. But like sometimes I go out in front of an arena, like for example, like I can imagine WrestleMania, and I'll want to hug every single person and say thank you and I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But I appreciate you. But I'm not going to be able to. So whenever I get a chance to take a picture or sign an autograph, I'll do it.
What's life like on the road, on the main roster, as compared to being in Orlando? Because the Performance Center is every day, and it's classes, and it's early morning, and it's training, and it's like you're on a very regimented schedule, where, of course, on the road you're on a regimented schedule, but it's not the same. It's like here's where the shows are. Here's where you need to be. What's
the difference?
Yeah.
So I really liked both of them. So training, obviously you don't have nearly as much time to train. You don't have time to prepare your food. You might not always get the same.
You mean when you're on the road?
When you're on the road,
right?
You might not you might not be able to get as much sleep and whatever. But I kind of like look at everything like it's like a game. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like a little hunter gatherer. It's like oh let me go to Whole Foods and get my chicken and my lettuce and you know what I mean, and like collect all your food and stuff.
Right.
And it's like you're constantly like on a timer to try and get your workout in, which sometimes just makes them more intense. You know what I mean? And then like I always have to like time out like exactly like I'm like okay, how can I do this so that I can get the maximum amount of sleep and let me try and get my 8 hours in here, and then if I take a 2-hour nap here while I'm doing the, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's all
that's so funny. Like I got 35 minutes to work out. We're going hard today.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So and I just love traveling, and especially like road tripping around America and everything like that. You get to see these like cool little towns that that I never would have seen before. And
you hadn't visited White Plains before today?
And it's beautiful.
It's Westchester, baby. The Bestchester.
Gorgeous.
That's what they call it.
Oh, the Bestchester. I like that.
That's good.
I like that. Maybe after today we'll turn it into the Bestchester.
That was so quick. So quick.
But so
is that the secret to eating on the road? To go and like find a
forage.
Whole Foods and yeah.
Like a little squirrel.
Right. Just have your little glove compartment. Like, oh, here's my dried chicken. Here's my. That's what you have to do.
That's what I do. So I'll prepare my food like at home. Say if I fly out Friday, I'll prepare my food Thursday night, have my food for Friday, and then Saturday starts the foraging.
I see.
Yeah, because you can only prepare it one day because you never know if you're going to get fridges, and I hate wasting food.
So do you get to... You do?
Ooh.
So what do you do? Just eat more? Like if this is going to go bad, I have to eat it all today?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
You do?
Don't waste food.
And then figure it out the next day.
Becky doesn't waste food.
Not a drop.
Or share food.
Hey, can I have a bite? No, I don't want to waste it. Do you wish, speaking of Westchester, that those puns were an even bigger part of who Becky Lynch was on television or is on television?
I like their little place now where they are, you know, on my little Twitter space, because I feel like it's a little community that we have,
right.
And also I don't know how it would translate to the global scale either.
Wouldn't that be the worst if like everybody on Twitter loves it and you get all this confidence, and then you go out on Raw and you just drop a pun and everybody's like, what did she just say? That's not funny. Why would she say that? Lettuce? Doesn't make any sense.
And probably if I had my way, like I'd be talking in like complete puns, so nobody would understand what I was talking about. Yeah.
They give you an inch and you just take a mile. Like, oh, we're doing puns now? Oh, we're doing puns. Do you think Finn Balor is upset that like I trained her and she's going to WrestleMania?
No, I don't think so for a single second. I'd say he's knowing Finn, I think he's probably just at home supporting me, or and because knowing that he's going to be there very soon and in the main event.
And as big of a deal as WrestleMania is going to obviously be, do you look at that Dallas Takeover card and go, oh my God, that's going to be an amazing show?
Yes,
yeah,
I do. And I can't wait to watch it. And I especially cannot wait to watch Bayley and Asuka because I think they're going to pull out one hell of a match.
Yeah. And it's going to be good for all three of you. You watch that match and then go, okay, that's what we have to beat.
Yeah.
And hopefully you will.
Yeah.
Well, Becky Lynch, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, of course. It's a pleasure.
Absolute pleasure. Oh.
We did it. Hey, it's Sam Roberts. I hope you enjoyed that wrestling interview from Sam Roberts Wrestling Podcast. You can go to notsam.com to subscribe to that podcast. But I upload videos like that on this YouTube channel all the time. So if you don't already subscribe, subscribe now. It's on the side of the page. I made it real easy. Click the button. Subscribe to the page. Subscribe to the page.